Maddie and Steve, they set the stage. From classic bouts to the modern age. Every slam, every story, every legacy comes alive with wrestling pedigree. So tune on in, the spotlight's bright. The ring is ready on this podcast night. It's wrestling pedigree.
Oh, isn't it beautiful to be alive on a Sunday evening for me, but a Sunday afternoon for my co-host, Steve Hawkins. How are you, sir?
Oh man, it is so weird doing this during the afternoon. And I'm sure it's weird for you not doing it after midnight.
It's weird, but it's also more weird that I can see sunlight in your welcome everybody to Wrestling Pedigree. Coming off a crazy episode last week, our special bonus show, our amazing interview with Headbanger Mosh. The feedback has been awesome. What say you on that, Steve?
Man, I had so much fun interviewing Chaz. Like it surpassed every expectation for me. It was one of my, like, him and Thrasher were one of my favorite teams during the Attitude Era. And just Chaz alone, he has so much charisma. He's so well spoken. I thought the interview went off really well. I was so happy to be able to talk to him for as long as we did.
Absolutely. And this week's episode, it's our last episode of the Attitude Era.
Sad.
It is sad, but I had a text message of Steve, and he goes, "We should do DX." And by God, we're going to do DX. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
This faction has got me detention many times. All right, so let's get into this. Right. DX formed on the 11th of August in 1997. Can you remember how they were formed?
I don't remember exactly how they were formed, but I know you have stories, so please take it away.
So it's Shawn Michaels versus Mankind. This is now also 97 on Monday Night Raw. During the match, Triple H and China interfered. I think Shawn got them win, and at the end of the match, they're celebrating, and all of a sudden we see at the stage Rick Bloody Rude. Can you remember Rick Rude's debut and what he was like in DX?
I remember he was described as the insurance policy.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the only insurance policy you need, if you need a good net breaker, he was good for it.
Oh, of course.
I'm really surprised. You know, with the way Rick Rude was there, I'm surprised that Shawn didn't do the tights like he did on, like, have Bret Hart's wife on one of his trunks. It would have been brilliant.
Oh, yeah, it would have.
It would have got like Paul Jake the Snake and yeah. So on that day, DX was formed. The Triple H, China, Shawn, and Rick Rude. What was your first impressions when you saw the likes of China? Obviously, she debuted before that, but what was when you saw her almost kill Marlena?
When I saw her almost kill Marlena, I was like, wow, this is fucking amazing. I mean, I love Terry Runnels. And in that era, she was a dream. But seeing Joni come in, it was terrifying, to say the least. Like this big bodybuilder beast of a woman being able to ragdoll Marlena around. I didn't know what to think.
I was the same as you. I kind of thought throughout the years growing up, thinking kayfabe was real, that it was literally a shoot, and she didn't like Terry, and she's literally just ragging her about. But that's how good China was. She made it believable that she could kill someone. So they started off. Yeah, obviously, the history between. Um,
Maddie, I'm having problems hearing you.
Oh, sorry. You hear me now?
Yes.
Do you feel DX had more real life click connections than NWL?
Well, I knew they had the real life click connection. Being backstage before DX was formed, I saw how HBK and Triple H kind of mingled with each other. When I was backstage, I was hanging out with them and Kevin Nash. So I got the click right there. So yeah, I knew, kayfabe or not, I knew they were all really tight.
So let's get into it. So they got those four, and they're causing havoc. They're disrupting matches. Is there any moments between those four that you can remember before they get into the Hart Foundation, their first feud? Was there any moments you can remember? For me, it's was it the poker match? Do you remember the poker match?
Oh, I remember the poker match. Yep.
I think it was strip poker.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Sean had a couple of bad hands.
yeah, you did.
Is there any moments like that you can remember before they got into the Hart Foundation saga?
Off the top of my head, not really.
Do you remember what they were like with Sergeant Slaughter?
Oh yeah, I remember them wearing the riot masks. So Slaughter didn't slobber all over them.
And they got the wipers and everything. What about do you remember when they have an interview? This is when they first started. I think this is the second week, and they gave Michael Cole a wedgie.
Yep, I remember that.
I think it's in the ring. That's how their behavior was like.
Yeah, my favorite moment with the original run of DX though is when they had to make the public apology. Holding it like a press conference, and them saying, "We will no longer say beep 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 between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9 p.m."
I remember that. Have you seen the unedited version?
I have.
They should have just done the unedited version. It was much better.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were crude. They were immature. Jokes about authority, like we just said about Sergeant Slaughter, and also Vince McMahon and Michael Cole. Yet first feud was obviously with the Hart Foundation. We talked about this before on past episodes. HBK beating British Bulldog at One Night Stand was one of the first knives, I think, of DX. Right into authority. I think me and you both agree that was the bullshit call.
Yeah.
I think it was One Night Stand. Is it One Night Stand that he did it? He won the European title, wasn't it? Because it was both titles on the line.
Was it One Night Stand? Yeah, it was One Night Stand.
Yeah, both titles were on the line, so one of them will win. Shaw won the European title, which meant he becomes the first Grand Slam champion. Do you feel that at that time the Attitude Era was really getting into it then? Obviously, this is before Montreal Screwjob, but do you feel that there was like little bits, little seeds of Attitude Era there?
Oh, definitely. I think this was. It obviously wasn't the start of the Attitude Era, where Attitude Era had already, to me, kind of started with Austin 316. But this was showing what the Attitude Era could be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I remember Shawn coming out in socks, just underwear. His underwear with socks down there, and jumping up and down in JR's face and got fined, I think, $20,000.
$20,000, yep.
Yeah, that was like, and then they had a meeting in Virginia. Him, Triple H, and Vince, and there would have some of the writers or something like that and said, "That's what we need. We need attitude," and that's what started it. Apparently, I think it was around September, so this was probably around the time. It's really weird. They started in August, but the name didn't get announced until October the 13th.
Yep. October 13th.
Do you know what Bret Hart called them on October the 6th on Monday Night Raw?
Yep. He told them, "You're just a couple of degenerates."
And by God, Shawn Michaels saw money and he went, "Yeah, I'm taking that."
Vince Russo saw money.
Oh, it was Vince, was it?
Yep. It has been told by many people that Vince Russo is the one that put together the name of D-Generation X.
Oh, so literally that's the only credibility that Vince Russo will get.
Yep, because it's not even him tooting his own horn. It's other people saying, "Yep, I was there. Russo said this."
But he does take credit for Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and everybody else.
Yep.
I'll take credit for taking giving the DX. I mean, that's some proper achievement.
Yeah.
Obviously the suck it gesture was known in the late 90s. Kids about saying suck it, and then DX took it and went where they took it and then put a rocket right behind them.
Yeah.
And I remember going to school telling everyone to suck it and then going to detention. Did you ever do that at school?
Oh, yeah. I got detention a couple of times for it. You know, just walking down the hallways at school. Crotch shop, crotch shop, crotch shop.
Hey, teach, crotch chop. Obviously, the Montreal Screwjob happened during this year, the beginning of the X really, for the first couple of months. They also did, which was really surprising, before the Screwjob, they aired the curtain call. Do you remember this?
Yes. Yep, I remember that.
What was your take? Because obviously, there's so many stories about curtain call. What was your take on them airing it, but also as a fan, what's your take on the current call? Like, do you think it was unfair that Triple H got all the shit for it?
I absolutely think that it was unfair that Triple H got all the shit. I mean, yeah, I know at that time Shawn Michaels was the up and coming. He was going to be the next champion. And just seeing that, it kind of hurt me a little bit that everything went on to Triple H. Also, kind of knowing Triple H personally, or being, I can't say I know him personally, being familiar with Triple H. I kind of had this connection. I'm like, wait, why are they doing this to Paul? Why isn't why isn't Sean taking some of this blame? Oh, because Sean's the golden boy.
Yeah, well, the other two guys went to
WCW,
and it all landed on Triple H. I think Triple H was supposed to win the 96 King of the Ring.
Yep,
that went to Austin.
In retrospect, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because we got the birth of Austin 316.
Which, by God, Vince Russo created. 97, Triple H won the King of the Ring anyway. He gradually going through, I think it was the Godwins. What was the matches there? It was like barn matches, the slobber matches, or something like that.
Oh, the
pen matches or something.
Yeah, the slot pen, pig pen.
Yeah, that's it. The slot pen or something like that. And he had to do those matches, and then obviously now he's in a big faction with the top dog, is Shawn Michaels. Do you remember the Sunny Days comment?
I do remember the Sunny Days comment very well.
Do you? Obviously, you knew the family of that bit a little bit. Did that cause any trouble? Did you hear any trouble that was like, wow, this is really shooting. This is really going too far?
Nothing that I heard of.
No.
No.
December 22nd, 1997. This is the biggest match ever in D-Generation X. It's Shawn Michaels versus Triple H for the European title, made by Sergeant Slaughter. It was a tough match.
It was so heartbreaking to watch.
It was
two of my very favorites being forced to lock up,
and I don't know how they survived.
I don't know. It was a barn burner, a complete slobber knocker.
Exactly. I'm surprised Meltzer did not give this 6 stars.
That's because it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome.
I think if it was in Tokyo Dome, it could have got 9 stars and a riot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this match was fucking stupid and hilarious, and Triple H winning it by running the ropes twice or 3 times and getting it kind of, do you know, I just realized he actually did like an Ultimate Warrior splash.
Yep.
But Triple H protected Shawn. But that's when they did the Adrian gimmick and all that kind of stuff. What was your take on them winning that match and the way they Triple H won it?
I just thought it was hilarious, and it was, to me, something that I thought Triple H really needed at that time. He needed to be able to run with that title. Yeah,
because he had the IC title, and then lost it to The Rock, and then all that stuff, and then you needed that European title. You didn't defend it that much, though.
No.
But that's when it was faded in the background.
Yeah.
After that, 1998, Royal Rumble, casket match, Undertaker versus Shawn. What's your take on what would have been one of the most important matches, I think, in WWE history?
I mean, those two always put on such a damn good show against each other. And I'm not just talking about like WrestleMania 25, 26. I'm talking like anytime they were in the ring together. Like you put 2 ring generals in there together, and they put on fucking classic matches.
Oh yeah. And why I say it's such an important match is because you got Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, which was a big match anyway in 98. But you also Shawn Michaels' injury, hitting his back on top of the casket,
Yep.
which it was an awkward bump. Because of that, we see something which is unbelievable. Austin winning at WrestleMania. WrestleMania, HBK versus Austin. Mike Tyson special ref. I don't know if we'll talk about this match again, but what did you think of that match as a fan?
I thought it was a really, really good match. And I loved the inclusion of Tyson in it. I think it brought almost a form of legitimacy to not only that match, but to the sport itself.
As someone that obviously been the last world GM of MWL and you love your fantasy booking, do you think WWE booked Shawn the right way after that injury?
I think they did. They protected him a lot. They didn't have him do a lot in the ring. And they just said, you know what, we're gonna save you for bigger matches.
I think he have a match after Royal Rumble? I'm trying to think. I don't know if he had a match until WrestleMania.
I don't think he did. He may have had maybe one or two, but I believe they were tag matches with Triple H.
Which, yeah, that would make total sense. Triple H does all the hard work, and then he comes in for the win.
Yep.
The thing is, now I think I really always wanted to talk to you about was the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
HBK is injured. He's gone. He took his ball and gone home. And someone needs to take over DX. And by God, the future of WWE, which I call him now, Triple H is now the leader. What was your take on who he brought in, who he recruited that night, and the promo that he put out?
When he started out and he said, you look to your family, you look to the clique, and then he did one of these. And we saw none other than Sean Waltman come out. I was like, yes, the fucking kid is back. Of course, he then gets renamed to X-Pac.
Which is a great name.
Perfect name. Kind of taking from Six-Pac, which is what his nickname was over in WCW.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Which I had been saying for weeks before that. The Outlaws need to join DX. I think it would fit them perfectly.
They had a perfect attitude for it.
Oh, yeah. They were degenerates just like D-Generation X.
Yeah.
And, coming from just a couple of months before when they were the roadie, or at that time he started becoming the road dog Jesse James, and fucking Rockabilly.
Oh, God.
Great name, horrible gimmick.
Yeah, I give you that.
I thought they were doing great work on their own, and then they get the call to join Triple H and X-Pac. I was over the fucking moon.
You could tell that Billy Gunn was the Shawn Michaels of the Guns, because by God, Bart Gunn only had one good left hook.
Yeah, and even that one good left hook still left him, on the mat to Butterbean.
Oh yeah, I think he had a good payoff. I mean, he won $75,000 for winning full brawl. So brawl for all, whatever. So
yeah,
I really hope down the line when we got a spare day for a bonus episode, it's literally diving into full brawl. Where is it? Brawl for all.
Brawl for all.
I mean, it's such a shit concept, and I fancy doing an extra episode to piss off Russo. After that, I think X-Pac's great shoot on WCW was brilliant. The vignettes they did for, I think it was a Super Soaker ad.
Yep.
I think, yeah. Um,
Which they then got a callback to it during their Hall of Fame induction.
yes, and they did do that segment where I think Triple H said he was going to whip it out, and then it was the Super Soaker, and then at the Hall of Fame, as elderly men do, he did buy any blue chew. It was limp. I was surprised when I saw this. The DOA had a bit of a rivalry with them at the beginning. When
Yep.
X-Pac and I think it Billy Gunn pissed on their Titan bikes.
Yep.
Are you surprised that didn't go as further as it did with DOA? Because they were a big faction back then.
No, not at all. I think, that was during the Gang Wars era of the Attitude Era. And DX wasn't really a gang. They didn't fit in with the Nation. They didn't fit in with Los Boricuas. They didn't fit in with DOA. They were just themselves. They were cheeky, immature assholes.
And that's why wrestling pedigree works, because that's what we are. Well, I am anyway. I'm an asshole for it. So after the short DOA fight they had after piss on their bikes, they had the rivalry with the Nation of Domination.
Yes.
Now, before we go into one of my favorite SummerSlam matches, can we talk about the parody?
Oh, do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Enough that we won't get cancelled. You had DX come out of the Nation. We had Triple H has the Croc. We had Godfather. We have Road Dogg as Godfather. I do believe that's right.
No.
No.
Wait.
Yeah, no. You're right.
No, we had Road Dogg as D'Lo.
Mr. Ass as Godfather. China. Well, China was nothing. She was just standing there.
Yeah, she was just China.
Just China. Jason Sensation has Owen Hart, because Owen Hart joined at that time, which he did the best fucking impression ever.
He did.
And we had X-Pac as Mark Henry.
Ms. Ark Henry.
Ms. Hark. Who knew that Ms. Hark could just put Ms. would be a big name back then and now? What was your take on the parody and how each one of them represented it, especially X-Pac?
Oh, I thought. Oh God, we have to get into this. All right, so this was 1998.
Yes.
Okay, so I was 14. I thought it was hilarious. Now, looking back on it, I'm going, wow, that blackface is in really, really bad taste. Like, especially with how dark they made X-Pac.
Yeah, that was a lot of covers.
I think they could have probably done without the blackface, and it still would have been hilarious. But let's talk about Jason Sensation for a minute.
Yeah, go on then.
God, he was so damn good. His impression of Owen was spot on.
Yeah.
And
didn't he do the commentary a couple of weeks later and they did some impressions then?
I don't remember if that was before or after.
I think it was after.
I do remember him doing commentary and doing all the impressions. I think it might have actually been before.
I think it was after because I remember. I think it was after because I remember Owen getting pissed off that Jason kept on doing it because then he goes, "Look at my nose," and it was just literally like that.
I remember the one line from Jason Sensation where he was talking about Triple H as Owen Hart and said, "I'd love to stand nose to nose with you, but we'd be miles apart." And he goes, "Woo!"
That's good shit.
It was so funny.
He's so brilliant, Jason. He was brilliant. I loved the impressions. The Austin one, Shawn Michaels one. I think he did so many which he done on special shows, like the comedy shows you guys had in America.
Yep.
Like obviously you didn't want to talk about the Xbox thing, but I'm really surprised that people didn't pick up on Billy Gunn, because Billy had it kind of not as black as Xbox, but it was getting there. So
it was.
So it's amazing how everybody picks on Xbox, but then you see Billy Gunn dressed as a golf and a right behind him. And
I mean, Billy was always a little darker, anyways, because he tanned. Yeah, so you could have just looked at it and said, "Oh, maybe he over tanned a little bit." With X-Pac, there was no mistaking it, though.
What's that? That's definitely true. That was some good shit right there. But while they were doing that, they were at war. I want you to explain to me, because we love shit when it's like this, when it's real, when it felt real back then. What's your take on this storyline?
Oh man. Okay. So first, let me go into a little story about MWL. Now, as you guys know, MWL is the Meltdown Wrestling League. Mm-hmm. It is. I'm a general manager of one of the brands, Surge. Now, prior to me becoming general manager, I was in a stable. We were called Chaos Theory. Mm. Now, I had this plan when we went over to invade one of the other shows, Diamond, that we were going to do the invasion storyline. It wasn't just going to be me showing up and demanding a match. We were going to film the whole thing standing outside of the Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire, where at the time I lived.
Yeah.
So I had everything ready. I had my Primal Instinct t-shirt, which was the tag team that I was part of. I had my tag team title to throw over my shoulder. I had camo pants. I had camo bandana. I was ready to go to war. And I was going to do this whole thing and make it just like DX's invasion of WCW Nitro. It ended up falling through because, nobody could coordinate their schedules. Mm. But this invasion that DX did, it was hilarious. I remember watching on the edge of my seat that night. Just like, oh my God, are they actually going to get in? Are we going to see Kevin Nash? Are we going to see Scott Hall? Are they going to interact with anybody from WCW? Of course, by the end of the night, I was very disappointed because there was no WCW stars on WWE TV. But that doesn't change the fact that this was so funny. And I so badly wanted something to happen.
I remember a story. I don't know who it was. It was them coming down the ramp. The shutters are going down. I think it's either Scott or Kevin or the WCW guys were just waving at him like, "Hi."
I think I remember hearing it was Kevin.
Yeah, it was surprising it was Kevin. But that segment going down, get the shutters closed down on them, and the New Age Outlaws knocking on the shutters, said "Whoo," and they went home. Them going to the CNN towers. I think it's CNN Tower
Yeah.
in Atlanta. Going there, pissing everyone off there, get a kayfabe arrested. That was uncalled off. That was the first time I think WWF mentioned WCW. Do you think? I know we're going off a bit. Would it be so cool to see WWE do it with AEW?
You see, I don't think. I don't know. I think it's a completely different landscape right now.
Yeah, that's true. But in that case, do you think they did it really well with NXT and TNA then?
I think it could have been done better with NXT and TNA, but I do think it was done really well.
Yeah, it was done better than people probably thought of.
Yeah.
All right, SummerSlam, 1998, Triple H versus The Rock, ladder match. One of the best matches I think I ever seen both of these two do. One of my favorite matches of all time. Just everything in there was just brilliant. What did you think of that match?
I thought it was a really good match. They had both hit their peaks at this point.
Yeah.
And it was one of those matches that you can go back and you can watch, and it still holds up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the way they won it, the crowd, I think it was in Madison Square Garden?
I think it was in MSG.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the 98, so it had the gate in it to come out.
Yes.
Do you think that SummerSlam is underrated? I mean, it had a main event of utter amazement with Stone Cold and Undertaker.
I don't think it's underrated. I think it's one of the higher rated SummerSlams.
I just don't feel a lot of people is talking like when they talk about SummerSlams, they talk about 2002 and the recent ones, but people don't talk about how really good the card was on 98.
Yeah. Well, that also lends itself a lot to recency bias.
Yeah, that's true. I want to quickly dive into China and Mark Henry storylines they did during that period. The sexual harassment, like storylines and stuff like that, and she had to go out on a date with Mark Henry, and D'Lo's there as a limo driver, and then your boy from ECW, I forgot his name, it used to be Simon Dean. Nova's there, pretended to be an asshole, but apparently he is a real asshole. Just there, just try to hook on China and get beaten up by Mark Henry. Those vignettes and those segments and that storyline was brilliant, wasn't it, for both of them?
It really was. And I believe this was the birth of Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was a great gimmick for Mark Henry. It gave him something to show that he was more than just the world's strongest man.
Yeah. It was I think it helped D'Lo and all. I think people found love for D'Lo.
Yeah.
Because he had to be a wingman. After Survivor Series 98, the X feuded with the Corporation. I always want to know, what's your take on the Corporation back then in 98, where Rock just joined, Ken just joined, Bossman obviously is there, and they're gradually getting tests and that, and then Kane. What was your take on the Corporation in late 98?
I thought it was an absolute powerhouse. They had some great superstars. They obviously had the backing of Big Man. Getting The Rock in there, I think, just made it even better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was perfect for him. It was the perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
Do you feel When Shawn Michaels came back as commissioner, what was your thoughts on that when you saw him come through the curtain and he's the new commish?
I wasn't really sure what to think. I thought there was going to be a lot more hijinks. I thought he was going to be more of, the Shawn Michaels that he was before he retired the first time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He turned his back on DX and he joined the corporation for a cup of coffee. Mankind versus The Rock, January the 4th. One of the biggest matches in WWE it's been covered so many times, and Tony Schiavone is a legend for it. Do you think that match will live on forever just because of what Tony did?
Well, it definitely put butts in seats.
Oh yeah, it did. It was a great match anyway. It was a great match, and DX interfered, Corporation interfered, Ken Shamrock started a wolf. It was such a great match.
It was. I actually remember that match really well.
And the biggest pop.
The biggest pop that I have ever heard. Well, aside from maybe the Hardys coming back at WrestleMania.
Yeah. It was a massive pop. It's just him coming down with a steel chair. He literally did about two or three things. Come down, hit Rock with a chair, Stone Cold eyes. Come down, hit the Rock with a chair, middle finger, Vince, throw his hat out, and then leave.
Yep.
Literally just the three things, and the fans are like, fucking nuts. The New Age Outlaws feuded with a lot of tag teams. Headbanger Mosh and Headbanger Thatcher. The Headbangers.
But remember, from what Chaz told us last week, it was very back and forth. They'd have a match against the Outlaws, and then they would be back to the Oddities.
Yeah.
And then it would be, let's throw you in another match with the Outlaws. Oh no, now the Outlaws are going to go for Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie.
There's literally no direction in that tag team. But I know they put in New Age Outlaws with like Legion Doom, Headbangers, the Goblins had a little bit of time, but then we were Southern Justice after that. Then the Acolytes, and then it got better. But do you what's your take on the New Age Outlaws as a tag team? Because they would have split in the 1999. But what was your take on the tag team that it made Attitude Era more fun?
Oh, I loved the Outlaws. Obviously, by my shirt that I'm wearing. For those of you not watching us, my shirt is a New Age Outlaws shirt. It just says, "Oh, you didn't know?"
I love that shirt.
I loved the Outlaws. Billy was great in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And Road Dogg was great on the mic. They complemented each other so well. Like, Billy was okay on the mic, but Road Dogg was great. Billy was great in the ring. Road Dogg was okay.
Yeah.
You put that together, that makes an amazing tag team.
Oh, they were perfect chemistry. As soon as they got together, they were, like you said, you had the worker and then the talker. Let's quickly go on to China. She will enter the 1999 Royal Rumble as number 30. First ever woman to do that. We've seen it time and time again. They interview Nia Jax, Karma, Beth Phoenix. Do you feel that if it wasn't for China, I know it's not one for China, but do you think China played a massive part in them getting there in Royal Rumble and the women's revolution back then?
Oh, absolutely. So China was an amazing wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw once she did start talking, she could talk on the mic. She wasn't somebody that you could just throw away. I loved watching Joni in the ring. I loved everything that she did once she came into her character.
Oh yeah.
After she was just nothing but a bodyguard. Once she took on the character of China, you know, she started with the ninth wonder of the world nickname. She started with that amazing music that I will still blast anytime it comes on my Spotify.
I think she's the only woman I saw that could handle a bazooka really well.
Yeah.
But you see her moves in a lot of today's wrestling. You see Tiffany doing the handstand into the corner. You see the likes of Nia Jax and Lash Legend and Kiana James, Rhea Ripley with their strength and doing the press hold slams and stuff like that. Joni made a massive impact on women's professional wrestling. For her to be number 30 in the first men's weight back then was unbelievable.
It was absolutely groundbreaking.
If it was a couple years later, it wouldn't have been that bad. But because it was dead in the attitude there, where like 14 million people's eyes are on you, Christ. Unfortunately, WrestleMania 15, her and Triple H turned on DX, and that was the last time China was in DX.
Mm-hmm.
And then the DX separated a bit, didn't they? They after WrestleMania 15.
They did. X-Pac went on to working with Kane.
Amazing tag team.
It was. And you know, at that time, I wasn't really clear. Is Kane part of DX? Is Kane not part of DX? Is there still a DX?
Yeah. Do you remember Kane's? I think did Kane? I don't know. This could be a Nelson, like a Mandela effect or where it is. But did Kane have a green outfit?
He never did. But I love it that I love that you just called it a Nelson Mandela effect.
No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's like there's a Mandela effect that we say over here, where you think something happened, but it fucking didn't. Fucking Photoshop then or something, because I swore
it was photoshopped.
Damn.
I know there was talk about it happening, but it never actually happened.
Damn, I got swerved.
You fell victim to the Nelson Mandela effect.
So I can't shit on that. Yeah, so like you said, X-Pac was with Kane and it did really good throughout that summer in 1999. With tag team gold with Kane. Road Dogg, I think he went to a hardcore phase, didn't he?
I think he did.
He went hardcore. I think him and Al Snow had some great matches.
Yep.
X-Pac, Billy Gunn won the 1999 King of the Ring.
Yep.
I think he had a Intercontinental title championship, or it could be after in 2001. But you know, he was around that time. He was winning a lot of matches. And then Triple H is in the main card. He's one of the main events.
Yep.
They all separated their ways. They're all doing their thing. And then in October 1999, they reformed.
Yes, they did.
Billy Gunn and Road Dogg teaming up again to face the Rock and Sock Connection on SmackDown. And that was a pop.
It was.
What was your take on them finally rejoining in 1999, late 1999? I think it was all just the four of them.
I was so ridiculously happy. Just knowing that they were coming out and hearing, "Oh, you didn't know," I jumped out of my fucking seat, dude.
It was such a great moment. It's such a great SmackDown moment that don't get talked about much. Obviously,
Oh, actually, I want to go back and I want to correct you.
okay,
Road Dogg did not go into a hardcore phase. He started teaming with K Quick.
I thought that was 2000.
No. K Quick, Ron the Truth Killings was around WWE in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but I thought that was November 2000 because in 1999 the McMahon Hillsley era started, and they were together from 1999 to August 2000, and then they split up again, and then he found Truth.
Are you sure?
Throw it in your Google machine, my friend.
You know what? I will trust you.
I could be wrong, but probably am, because probably the Nelson Mandela effect. During that time, China becomes the first woman to win the Intercontinental title, the only woman to win the Intercontinental title. That's just a crazy, isn't it? That she's the only female, and now there's actually a woman's Intercontinental title. There's a woman's US title. It's just craziness. The legacy she leaves.
Yeah.
They get back, so the DX get back together. Triple H marries the boss's daughter. The McMahon Hillsley era starts, and DX are causing trouble everywhere. I mean, fucking everywhere. Do you remember the Radicals joining up with DX?
I really don't remember that.
Could be a Nelson Mandela effect. No, it was the Radicals. The Radicals turned on Cactus, so they could all get contract jobs, and I think it was DX, and the Radicals, whatever it is, versus Too Cool, Rikishi, Rock, Cactus, and then Kane came out. It was something like that. It was a massive fight on the Monday Night Raw, and Kane returned, and all the lights come out, and there comes Paul Bearer.
Huh. No, I don't remember that.
It was a crazy. This is like February the 7th, something like that. 2000. It was a crazy end of the episode of Brawl.
We're talking 26 years ago.
Yeah,
I barely forget. I barely remember what I was doing 26 minutes ago. But apparently, since we're 54 minutes in, I've been on Wrestling Pedigree.
Exactly. And well, it could be a Nelson Mandela effect, to be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna play that tonight, I tell you. In August, as said, they split up again. They went their own ways. I think Billy helped out China when Eddie cheated on her.
Yep,
then
I do remember that.
He became the one Billy Gunn, which I loved. By the way, if you've not seen it, people ask who says one Billy Gunn theme song for sitcoms.
Yep.
Someone's used it for Golden Girls, and it fucking works.
Yeah.
Road Dogg, like you said, with K Quick. Thank God for Road Dogg, because WWE will not be perfect without Truth. X-Pac began with X Factor.
Yeah.
So that was a good start. And obviously Triple H won many world titles and many babies with the boss's daughter. So it was just crazy.
3 babies with the boss's daughter.
3 babies with the boss's daughter. Many world titles.
Yes.
That was the road of DX in the Attitude Era, as we're only covering the Attitude Era of DX. I think down this year we probably will cover 2002 to 2010 when Sean retired. I look forward to 2006 era. I'll tell you. What's your take on the history of DX that we saw?
DX defined the Attitude Era. They were so entertaining. They were good in the ring. They were exactly what the Attitude Era needed. They were silly. They were the opposite of Stone Cold Steve Austin, except for the whole, beating up your boss thing.
Sometimes they did.
Yeah. But I think they were the perfect complement to what they were doing with the very serious Stone Cold Steve Austin and the over-the-top The Rock.
Yeah.
And the, excuse the pun, deadly serious Undertaker.
I like that.
Yeah, they were perfect. And they are, I think they were the perfect answer to the NWO.
Absolutely. Talking of NWO, next week, is our episode will be coming out on the Sunday. So we'll probably be filming on the Saturday, but the episode will come out on Sunday, which will be the 1st of March. So we're going into WCW month. And this is the month that I think Steve has been waiting for a long, long time.
Yeah.
However, so on that episode, we are going to do something a bit different. We are going to talk about one of the best factions of all time. Enough that we're going to turn ourselves black and white.
I don't even know how to do that.
Sorry, I'll show you before that. But we are going to talk about the NWO to kick off WCW month.
I like it.
I've actually felt a bit more like Tony Storm than NWO doing that, but okay.
You're not as pretty as Tony Storm.
Not even as pretty as fucking Hulk Hogan.
Maybe Horace.
No. DC was rich, being a rich uncle, rich nephew. Yeah. Probably the shit that X-Pop that in Jerry the King Lawler's crown, or probably that. I cannot wait to talk about NWO next week as we're just coming off DX. Like I said, WCW month will be just around the corner. We got a lot of surprises coming up, including an interview with a well-known, well-respected wrestler, and a little more fun going down the road. And I think Steve is going to rant a lot more with WCW because we will be covering Invasion next month. We will be covering the bad shit of WCW. We usually are positive, but by God, we got to look at the fuck ups they did. With that, Steve, where can people find you, sir?
Oh, you know where to find me. You can find me under Facebook, or you can find me on Facebook under my government name, Steve Akins. You can find me on Instagram as So Many Tragedies. Find me on X under pedigree_Steve. You can try to find me on TikTok, but I have no clue what my name is.
Probably that. What's my name?
Yeah. Try that. See how far it gets you. You can find me slinging chips 5 days a week for way too many hours. Find me on MWL. If you are interested in joining MWL, we are in the last quarter of our season. So message me on Facebook and I will get you in. We're always taking people. It's a great opportunity to, do your predictions, build your character, tell a story. And if you don't know how to tell a story, I'll do it for you. Because I am the best at what I do.
Okay, I'll give you that. And plus, but if you did not know, Steve has Braun, Scott, and Rick Steiner at his house. So that's who you can hear.
Yep.
I love that. You can find also on Wrestling Pedigree. It's on Facebook. You can find Wrestling Pedigree on TikTok. You can find Wrestling Pedigree 92 with Instagram and YouTube. And you can find, weirdly enough, we got some merch.
We do,
which will be the link here. We have merch from Wrestling Pedigree and MWL. So such good shit, and we'll appreciate you guys just throw your eyeballs over there. The link will be in the description, and look forward if you're watching this. You listen to this before 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Wrestling Roundtable will be debuting on Wrestling Pedigree, so jump into that. So from myself and Steve, enjoy Professional Wrestling.
And if you're not down with that, I've got 4 words for you. Don't be a dick.